There's three kinds of temptations that we face daily, and temptations are all around us, from people to environments, and all of these things just distract us from our overall purpose and they lead us off course. And the first temptation that I want to get into involves our eyes. And I always like to say that our eyes are the gateway to us making bad decisions. If we don't know how to properly control what we allow ourselves to look at, no matter where we are, then it could always lead to us making a bad decision. I say this because I personally experienced this. When I was going through my whole transformation phase, where I was trying to eliminate the whole idea of lust and not give myself to people who simply weren't worth it anymore, I realized that one of the reasons why I always ended up back in that position is because I didn't know how to control my eyes. I would go out and I would allow myself to look at things that I knew were going to put me back in that position, things that were tempting. And that's when I came to the conclusion that our eyes and what we allow ourselves to view, what we give our attention to, ultimately can put us in a bad position if we don't know how to properly control it. If we can learn how to look away whenever we may have that tempting feeling to look at something that we may find pleasant, bro, only then will we be able to control our next move. The next temptation that I want to talk about deals with our thoughts. And our thoughts can be very tempting because we may have an initial response to something. And it all starts with our eyes, like I was mentioning before. When we look at something, after we view it, then this has a direct correlation to our thoughts. And this could be very tempting, bro, because once you have that initial thought of something, it's almost impossible to get rid of it right away. And one way that I did this, bro, is I would sit down and I would tell myself the consequences of thinking and acting on whatever it is that I may feel or whatever it is that I may be thinking about at that moment. Because once you make so much progress, bro, as far as ignoring temptations and really putting yourself in your own lane to where you don't act on impulse anymore, you start to see everything for how surface level they actually are. You start to see how weak you may have been in the past for acting on these things and why it was very selfish of you to allow it to take up so much of your time and so much of your life when you have so much more things that you could be possibly doing as far as productivity. But if you're finding value in this video so far, man, do me a big favor and subscribe to the channel. Drop a like and a comment. That's the only way YouTube gonna push my videos out. You know, I appreciate y'all so much. I love y'all. And we gonna get right back into it. And that brings me into the last thing that I want to touch up on, bro, is that temptations can vary based on your environment. And the reason why I threw environment in there, bro, is just because depending on where you are in your life right now, certain environments spark certain reactions. And in a sense, some environments are more tempting than others. And then that's when I realized that if you're somebody that's going out to the club every weekend, it's going to be very hard to control the things that you see. And then it's going to be very hard to control the thoughts and the feelings that you may have in that moment that you may want to act on. And ultimately, it may just push you in an even worse position. So if we could take the time to minimize that risk and control the type of environments that we allow ourselves to be in, especially when we're trying to remove and get rid of these temptations, bro. We can't just be outside partying. We can't just be outside clubbing because we understand what's out there. But with us going through this transition phase, this is the last thing that we need to see. This is the last thing that needs to be on our mind because we all know what's outside, bro. There's so many tempting things. There's so many tempting people. We don't even need to allow ourselves to experience any of these feelings that may come with these environments. And for me, this was a big one, bro, because when I was trying to get to the bottom of the things that were tempting me in my life, you know, not even just social media, but just the things that I was allowing my eyes to see, the thoughts that I was having that were all leading to me acting on it. And then the environment, I soon realized that for me to get any grip on the things that I was allowing to tempt me, I first had to start with me, bro. And I had to start with why I was allowing these things to put me in this position. Why I was allowing these things to take up so much of my time and energy, because that's all it was. We all have a decision, bro, and we all have a choice to make. And if you're somebody that's struggling with temptations, it's because you're truly choosing to allow these temptations to take up your life. You're choosing to allow these temptations to take up your time. And once you decide that you want your energy back, once you decide that you don't want to sacrifice and waste any more time, bro, then you will stop. But in today's day and age, it's very hard because everybody's just so free-spirited nowadays, bro, and people just, you know, everyone just does whatever they want. So you have to pay close attention to where you're allowing yourself to be and to the things that you're consuming on a day-to-day basis. And I know I only said 3 temptations in a video, bro, but I really wanted to throw this one in there because I see this one so often, and it's the idea of drugs. I feel like drugs could be something that's used to tempt people into doing all type of things. And I've seen this so many times where I be out. It's just that people use drugs to get people out of their normal or regular mind state because it could lead to anything. There's a reason why people go out and feel the need to smoke weed or to do anything, pop pills or whatever the case may be, bro. It's because they understand that when they do these drugs, they're getting themselves out of their body and they're not going to be in their normal mind state. They've completely let the temptations take over. And I'm not saying that all drugs are bad, bro, but I'm definitely saying that, just recreational use and as far as just going out and partying and doing drugs every day, bro, there has to be something in you, an underlying factor, something going on that you may need to get checked out. But the idea of doing drugs, bro, is very tempting. And this brings me back to a story. I think I might have told this on my channel before, but I remember when I was in 9th or 10th grade and I had this girlfriend, and I never used to want to drink or I never used to want to smoke with her. And she used to tell me like, oh, you're so boring. You never want to have fun. You never want to drink or smoke. And at that moment, I actually thought something was wrong with me. I used to tell myself, I'm here to tell you today, bro, that you don't need to drink or you don't need to smoke. I feel like I'm fun, but she said I'm not fun because I don't want to drink or smoke. And then that's when I realized that there's a direct correlation between having fun, quote unquote, and drinking and smoking. In order to enjoy yourself. If it's not you, then it's just not you, and don't let anybody try to tempt you into doing these things. Because in the world, bro, there's so many things around us, from people to environments, that can tempt us. So if you're somebody that's dealing with temptations right now, understand that it starts with these things, bro. It starts with your eyes. It starts with your thoughts. It starts with your environment. And ultimately, bro, for a lot of people, it starts with drugs. So really just start to control these temptations, bro, and you'll be okay. But if you made it to the end of the video, man, I appreciate you so much. It's your boy Blue J Tay. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all boys on the next one. Peace.